what's going on, guys? James here bringing another YouTube video, and this one is another video remake. And this one, well, it's sort of a video remake. I decided that when it comes to the original universe mode I ran on my other channel from like 2016 to like 2018-ish, somewhere around there, that I'm going to go through and I'm going to do reactions to it. And I've had this idea for actually a long time, well before I rebranded my other channel and came up with the idea for the video remakes and all of that. But I'm glad I'm doing it now because I know now I can do something like what Tyson and I did for the favorite WrestleMania reaction videos that we did on the other channel, which will of course link in the description. But yeah. So I'm going to do that and hopefully can give some good commentary and everything like that with the original universe videos. And of course we have to start off with 2K16 Co-op Universe Episode 1, which I titled simply Welcome to Raw. And at the time, Tyson and I have, again, talked about it before. He was in control of Raw at the time, I was SmackDown, and we started off with a small, like, 20-man roster for both shows. We did throw some of our creative superstars in there as well. And yeah, that's really it for the most part. To say the very least. And other than that, it wasn't meant to be a realistic universe mode yet. We would eventually get there. And of course, our current universe mode, which isn't too current anymore, but we'll get back to it eventually. We promise we will. I can guarantee it. But for now, that universe mode, that's the base of it is 2K19. That is purely realistic, and co-op is only meant to show, hey, this is, he's running one show, I'm running another show, but the shows are completely realistic. And I can't wait till I get to the point where I can start uploading that because I've got some cool ideas and stuff for that. And then, of course, we can continue the series as well, which will always be fun. But yeah, with the original universe, this was the first show he booked. It was also, it's a really weird thing to kind of go back to because obviously Tyson running SmackDown now, it's a show that everything is purely booked by him. He makes the final call, and he's involved with the matches as well. Whereas back in the day with the original universe, he booked Raw, and that was it. Because when I started the series, it was at a point where I needed something that I could be proud of. I needed something to kind of just make me happy in a way. And I came up with this idea, and it worked. But I came up with the idea at a time where I was living like 2,000 miles away. So there was no way for us to do this series together, like as a unit and coexist like that. So it was just like I had to record everything myself, including the matches, and then all he could do is book the show. And we experimented a tiny bit at this point with dual commentary, as we got one video with it, and that's coming up at a later date. But that didn't work because the only way we knew to do it ended up having super amounts of lag and all that shit. So we couldn't commentate legitimately. But yeah, again, eventually I'll get into the actual reaction part of the video, but that's kind of the backstory there. Besides, at one point I did want to mention as well, I originally, when I came up with the idea, I did want it to be like a GM mode, and I've said it so many times before in so many videos, but yeah, that's what I wanted, was to make essentially a current GM mode series through universe mode, just because I love GM mode. And of course, again, it quickly wouldn't become that because I just, personally, I care so much about actually telling stories that the GM mode aspect that I wanted didn't work. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about the backstory and history a little bit at this point. So now let's get back into the video. Or start reacting to it anyway.
Hey, what's up guys, as you know, I'm Jen, I'm bringing you another YouTube video. And this one is the start of a new series. One that hopefully will not get canceled. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the previous video. Anyway, yeah, the start of the series. As you can see, this is WWE 2K16 Universe mode. It's on last gen, obviously PS3, and yeah. So this is actually sort of co-op with my best friend Tyson.
To pause it quickly, I do have to say, one of the things that I find interesting is, the fact that it was recorded on PS3 initially, because originally I did want to, or I've been struggling to think about, okay, what do I do with the original universe? And I've come up with an idea that I'm gonna roll with, but for a while, before I settled on the current idea, which you'll see it eventually, I was struggling to figure out, okay, do I re-record it in the same way, just like with my capture card and mic and everything, instead of recording the game through my phone? That's what I was struggling with. Do I record it in the same way through the PS3 version of the game? Do I move to the PS4 version? Like, what do I do there? And again, I figured out what to do, and you'll see what it is at some point. But yeah, it is kind of funny to think about. Yeah, it started with the PS3. And then I would eventually move to the PS4 version, just to move back to the PS3 with 2K17, just to move back to the PS4. It was a mess, but we'll get to it.
See, we live like across, like all the way across the country. He lives like in the Midwest. I live in the Southeast. So, but through the power of the internet, I managed to communicate with him, and he books Raw, I book SmackDown. Raw gets the first pay-per-view, and we alternate every other pay-per-view. It goes Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown.
That's another thing that I remember really wanting to do, and I even tried to bring the idea back with the current universe when we started that back in 2018. Just because I love the idea of alternating pay-per-views. I think that's really cool, and I wish WWE would have done that once they brought the brand split back in 2016, instead of having 2 pay-per-views a month. I just love that concept, and you can really focus on long-term storytelling that way. And I just went on a massive rant there, and I totally did not mean to do that. But anyway, yeah, the idea for alternating pay-per-views. I love the concept, and kind of wish that we would have rolled with it. And that's something that, one thing I will say, when we get to actually making the current universe videos again, we are actually going to move towards that idea finally. But it's something at the start of both the original and current universe modes that I tried to do, and I didn't do anything with it. So, but yeah, anyway, I might cut that rant out and make it its own video. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, back to the video.
Raw, SmackDown, until we go to one of the big 4 pay-per-views: SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania. Then we're both involved in that pay-per-view. And the interesting thing about this series, okay? The way it's gonna work is every week after every SmackDown, because obviously I'm gonna post Raw and then SmackDown. So after every SmackDown, in the comments down below of the SmackDown video, I want you guys to tell me who had the better show. Tyson with Raw, or me.
So yeah, that's another thing that I would try to do for the original universe that I would bring back for the current universe. I've always thought it'd be cool to, even for like a realistic universe mode, to take the people that you're making the videos for, obviously the viewers, and let them decide on what they think is the better show if you're making multiple shows. Like, if you have Raw and SmackDown and that's it, make a poll or base it off of like top comments or anything like that, and let them decide and vote on whether like a majority of them thought the episode of Raw was better than the episode of SmackDown, or vice versa. It's just, I think that's a really cool concept, and I wish, again, that I could have gained a little bit more of, not even a little more, not even necessarily a bigger audience of viewers, but just more of a consistent audience, I guess. Because I don't know, I think that concept is great. Or at the very least, I wish, like, even if it can't happen with my series, I wish, like, another creator could use that. Whether it's a GM mode or a universe mode, it doesn't really matter. Just use that concept and let them vote, and then work that into the series. It's such a cool concept, and I really like it. But yeah, it's again funny that so much of what's still around today did start with the original universe mode. Yeah. Like, the current universe mode could not be a thing without the original universe mode.
The SmackDown. And obviously first, you know, here is his Raw show. He's booked for his opening matchup. Tyson is booked. Dolph Ziggler to go one-on-one with a rookie in Alex Reign. And then he has Rusev versus Roman Reigns, Nikki Bella versus Naomi, another rookie in T-Ice going up against Luke Harper, and then John Cena versus the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Wait, never mind. Just WWE Champion and United States Champion Seth Rollins. That's why he's booked his first show.
That is another thing that's one thing I don't like, is that I started off with the default champions in the game. That is just so uncreative. Like, that's the one thing I do look back on. That I hate. Like that's not good. If you're gonna do anything, like if you're gonna do any sort of like universe mode or anything, do try and start with some sort of unique champions, whether that be the current champions in whatever promotion you're going to be running, if it's supposed to be realistic, or have tournaments, or just matches on the show, anything to crown your own champion instead of just running with what the game gives you.
And because I couldn't get him to tell me what match he wanted me to include in this episode, I'm just going to pick one that interests me. And I think the one that interests me, actually, is probably this opening contest. So I'll play the opening contest.
And again, I hate how much I pause it, but again, I do feel the need to say, I do wish that we would have built up the created wrestlers a little bit more. Because I literally just dropped Alex and T-Ice into this show with no build up or anything. It's just like, well, here they are. Like they're just you're supposed to know who they are. Blah blah blah. It's like, okay, like why would anyone care? The thing is, they don't care whatsoever. Because I've given the viewers no reason to care about them. So yeah. That's another thing. If you do have some sort of like creative wrestlers that you do want to put in there, two things. One, if you have a creative wrestler of yourself, I would have advised you against putting that character into the series. It doesn't really work, especially because at some point you'd end up like, if you're commentating the videos, end up like commentating yourself essentially, and that's always like super weird. And yeah, like I would advise against that. Like, creative superstars are not a bad thing, but again, try to avoid CAWs of yourself, I would say. Unless the CAW is under a completely different name, but like it represents who you are, but it's under a different name or something, that can work. But yeah, like if you're gonna do it, try and like build them in and give them backstory, like, and build them up before you bring them in.
Simulate the rest, and you guys tell me what you think is. Then at once I upload the SmackDown video, you tell me who had the better show. Let's get into it. Oh, and there's going to be music involved that is not in the game. And if you watch the update video, you know that I've been getting copyright claimed. Don't worry. I've figured out a way
Get on with it.
that
Get on with it past me.
That should mean I won't get copyright claimed. So, either way, Dolph Ziggler versus
Past me,
Alex
you
Wright.
should have cut this out.
Play.
Anyway.
You know, this is gonna be a really good one.
Did I just take a drink? I just took a drink. I heard it. I should have cut the loading screen out too. I wasn't very good with editing at the time. Let me tell you that, okay?
Of the series.
I was not very good with editing. Was I humming to Ziggler's theme too? I mean, it's like, thank God that this series didn't start off as like realistic in any way, because if it did, that's immersion breaking right out of the gates. I mean, who am I kidding? The entire thing was immersion breaking.
Just 1 week ago, we had a tournament on both Raw and SmackDown since the WWE World Title was unused.
Okay. Like, I don't remember. Like, I could have swore that the series didn't start off as realistic, but now I'm like acting as if it is realistic. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on now. Because like I'm actually I'm in commentary mode at that point, and I'm talking about this tournament that was a thing. I remember it, but like I didn't show it, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's just like I'm trying to fill you in, but like I didn't do anything. I didn't show you the tournament. Damn it.
Fine.
Anyway,
SmackDown once again has the World Heavyweight title. Raw has the WWE title. We had a tournament to determine who would be the new WWE champion and the new World Heavyweight champion. Seth Rollins walked out and managed to keep his WWE title in that tournament. Is he here? Who? Here is
yes. I've just got 3 Days Grace's Riot
This
playing here.
Alex Reigns.
God, I forgot Alex started off as like some like Hardy Boys wannabe. Which you could say a lot of wrestlers start out as that, but I'm not going to get into that. That is not a conversation for this video.
Alex Reigns in the back
But
before
damn,
the
he
show and
started off as
WWE.
like he's even got the Matt Hardy pants, dude.
One of the inspirations to join
He's got the Matt Hardy pants
The
and
industry.
God, dude. Like
was
anyway,
the Shield. 3, 2, 1, let go.
see, like I gave him backstory, right? I created a backstory for him, but like I just so casually said it, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Because you would think, like at the point that this is starting, right? You would think that, oh, like how is it the Shield made him want to join wrestling? Like, he probably wanted to join wrestling well before then and started training well before then, as would make sense. And then seeing what the Shield were doing in WWE, he's like, God damn, I want to go to the Fed now. Like, damn, I want to go to the Fed now. Let's go to the Big E, something like that. I don't know. Like I gave no other backstory besides like he joined wrestling because of the Shield, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like I had things there, like I had story and shit, but like they were half-assed.
Oh, Dolph Ziggler goes behind. Oh,
And of course, me playing against the AI.
DDT by Dolph Ziggler. Oh, Alex Reigns hip.
And here's
down,
me
hip toss.
commentating this match that I'm playing live
wrenching the arm.
with my color commentators Cole and King
Ziggler counters,
behind me.
pulls him back. Alex
As I'm the
Reigns
play-by-play.
belly suplex. Oh, Alex moves out the way of the drop kick.
And yes, guys, I know that Cole was actually the play-by-play, but that's not the point. Because
Alex letting Dolph get to his feet.
my commentary is nothing but play-by-play here.
Oh, they both go for drop kicks, and it doesn't
It's like
work.
I'm a color commentator before the match, but then during the match I'm
Dolph
nothing
makes
but
a rookie
play-by-play.
mistake. Alex capitalizes and suplexes him.
Because I also didn't think about turning off the damn voices.
Oh, Ziggler rips the arm. Oh, works the arm and goes into a super kick. And Ziggler. Oh,
Okay, that was a
Ziggler's
nice
feet are on
combo.
the ropes. Oh, and here we go. Side effect. Side effect out of nowhere.
Such a Hardy's
He got it too.
wannabe, dude.
Oh, Ziggler. Alex tried to leave himself open, and that did not work out well. Oh, look at this.
God, the AI was so cheesy as hell post 2K14. And I mean, they were so cheesy in
Ran the dragon away from
2K14,
the
but
ropes. Is
like
that going to cost Ray?
2K15, 16, and 17 on last gen, dude.
Yes,
They
it
were
does.
cheesy as hell. They would do so much, like they'd start a wake up taunt and then do an OMG moment out of the wake up taunt and all that. It's like, God. And you couldn't reverse because they were mid taunt,
You see that
which
there?
Alex,
Between
of course,
the face.
was not supposed to
Dolph
win
Ziggler
that
just got
match.
beat by a rookie.
I do remember perfectly. I didn't want the CAWs to win right away. I did want to build them up in that regard. But yeah,
Wow.
at least I was smart enough
I
to
cannot
cut off his
believe
entrance theme.
that Dolph
since
Ziggler
it was
just got beat by a
It's 3 days
rookie.
grace. Like, Jesus Christ.
By the way, guys,
I would never do that
that
now.
loss was
For that kind of theme.
it was not intentional. I did not expect
Thank you,
the
pass me.
kick-out bar to go back up that fast. But anyway, Alex Rain, the rookie Alex Rain. Gets
Thank
the
you,
win
pass
over
me.
Dolph
Thank you.
Ziggler.
If it were me now, or I guess if it were us now, that would be, we're going to re-record it till we get the result that we want, so we can push forward with the story that we want to tell, not craft the story through what happens in the game and then just fly by the seat of our pants.
And Reigns picks up the win. Nikki Bella versus Naomi. The champ, Nikki Bella, wins. Another rookie, T-Ice versus Luke Harper. And Harper beats him. And Seth Rollins, the WWE and US champion, versus John Cena. And Cena picks up a win. Let's go back to the show.
Lol, Cena
Alex Reigns beats
wins.
Dolph Ziggler. Roman Reigns beats Rusev.
But that's the end of the video. We don't really need to watch any more than that. It's just like the small recap. That's also another thing that, of course, we wouldn't do now. We wouldn't simulate through any of the matches. But yeah, there are a lot of problems with it, but I don't know. I don't hate it. It's kind of fun to go back and look at that again. And would I do anything like that now? No. Well, yes, I would, because obviously, Co-op Universe now is a thing, but I don't know. It's got its flaws, but I don't hate it. I guess is the best way to say it. Like, I definitely think we could have started this series worse by a lot. But, like, I even had the wherewithal to position the camera and the environment I was in to get the best possible view of the TV with my phone at the time. Which, of course, again, wouldn't be a problem now because I have a capture card, but I didn't fully know what I was doing, but I knew enough. And, yeah. So, like I said, it definitely could have started out a whole hell of a lot worse, and I don't hate it, going back to it. it's got its flaws, but I don't think it's like cringeworthy or anything. So yeah. And I know this video went a lot longer than I ever anticipated it going. I wonder how much I'll cut out in post. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, share it up on social media, do all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.